Oh, the happiest hour. I'm so excited. Today, it's the end of the week. I got my dapper clothes on. This is a different shirt than you saw yesterday. We had a lot of fun. Ashton Moore was on the show, talked about all kinds of stuff. Talked about business, talked about comedy, talked about whiskey, talked about all kinds of things. And now we've made it. We made it to the end of the week. And you know what? It's another one in the hole. Maybe you're in LA, you got 12 more weeks to go. Maybe you're living in the middle of nowhere, like my parents in Manistee, Michigan, and they get to come out of their houses immediately without masks on. I don't know. I don't know where you are, but wherever you are, I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad that we're spending this time together. With me, as always, on this show is my lovely co-producer and co-host, Lancey Joe. Lancey Joe.
Hi.
All
Hi,
the way
Brendon.
from the Lancey Joe on Venmo show.
All the way from 60613, which is, are you in 60613?
60614 now, I think.
Uh-oh, moving up.
Just one over. Cheers, buddy. What you drinking over there, Lancey?
Funny you should ask. I'm drinking family owned since 1902 Louisiana authentic Southern iced tea.
Louisiana iced tea. Get yourself an authentic Southern iced tea. Only add simple syrup for a sweet old tea just like your grandmother used to make. Louisiana iced tea. Refreshing.
I like when I used to wait tables before whatever happened, and Southern people would come in and be like, "Hey, y'all have sweet tea here?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "We have regular tea, and I can put simple syrup in it." And they're like, "I'll just have a Coke."
Well, in the South, everything's Coke, right?
Yeah, then I have to say,
Coke.
"What kind?"
Yeah, I'll take a Sprite Coke. Yeah, I'll have
a Coke.
Y'all got Coke? No, we just got Pepsi products. Yeah, I'll take a Pepsi Coke. Is that offensive, what I just said?
Yeah, man, I'm holding back tears.
My parents, spoke with my parents. They think it is hilarious that you talk about Louisiana iced tea on this show. They think it's really funny that we are unofficially unsponsored by a number of products that continue to recur on each of these episodes.
Speaking of that, y'all get some Nature's Bounty Ginkgo biloba.
Ginkgo biloba.
What are you repping today?
Tastes like a ginkgo biloba job. I got the Uncut Beard Company's growth vitamins for your beard. I stopped taking those long ago because it turns out they're for your beard and not for something else.
You saw that on a podcast somewhere or heard it on a podcast?
Yeah, I heard it. Well, I saw an ad for the beard. It was the Dollar Beard Company. Whoa, buddy. Whoa. What? Did those come in the glove compartment of the Trans Am you bought?
Yeah. The huge eagle on the
hood. His name is Lancey Joe, but his card, Kit, allows him to become Knight Rider.
This is brought to you by Marlboro Red.
You look like you're about to start talking about options trading. Like,
yeah, we're like on a patio
right now. You sell when that call goes above 24.
We're on a patio in Soho talking about trade options.
Yeah, you know what I say? I say fuck CMX. I think it's a stupid short sale.
Dumb. If you're gonna play that game, you might as well. I can't even finish the sentence.
Well, this is how grounded of a dude you really are. You can't even joke about stocks.
If you think you're gonna get me using short stocks name in vain, then you got another thing coming.
Name in vain, you got another thing coming. You should just talk in 80s song titles.
When those glasses are on, I can't help it.
That is so great. I'm drinking a whiskey sour of my own creation over here. Trader Joe's whiskey. I wish I had the bottle so I could do the little plug for it.
Spiel.
The little spiel. but I don't. I've only got all of the delicious whiskey, the delicious blended whiskey from Trader Joe's. What was I going to say? I'm on a podcast that just got released today. Andre Hashem, the Haberdashery, released a podcast where I tell a story about how I almost got killed in a former living situation. I lived with a drug dealer and slash addict, and the whole house almost burned down once, and it was crazy. And the story took like 90 minutes to tell, and it's on the episode of the podcast, the Haberdashery. You should take a listen. Actually, it was a lot of fun telling the story, and Andre Hashem does a great job. Him and his co-producer Mike, they do a fantastic job on that show. So stop watching this and go listen to that.
Leave now and go do that.
Go do that. Don't do nothing else with your Friday. What else you got to do, dummy? You're stuck inside because of the coronavirus.
According to Brendon's outfit, it's 72 degrees outside.
I got all the linen. I got all the linen in the world. You talking about Lemon, the linen king of Chicago? Yay. Lives over there in the linen district.
Yeah, man, I had so much fun last night on this show yesterday, and then last night you came on my show and we just continued the madness.
It was two of the best episodes of anything I've ever recorded, man. And
it was
honest to goodness, Ashton Moore was so fun to have on this show. We got to have him back.
Really was.
And then your show, we just kept it rolling. We just kept talking all kinds of goofy. I almost feel like this show. I feel like I have this. I feel like the pretense of trying to make this feel like a production. So I feel I feel a lot of pressure to have people tune in and be like, it's a real program. You know what I mean?
Right. Mm-hmm.
That's why I get dressed up like this. That's why you get dressed up like that. But when I'm on your program, I don't feel any of that pressure. I feel like we're just two bros hanging out.
Yeah.
Two bros hanging out, having a couple beers, talking.
And if you watch my show, you will realize that I have no pressure. I fulfill no pressures to make it any type of professional. So
yeah, but you get people who watch. Like that's the thing that's nuts. Is like we get a pretty good audience here. We get a decent audience. But your show, I'm amazed because you're just like it literally feels like we're hanging out in your living room. You've captured that feeling.
Yes. Anyways, last night. Man, it was so fun. I was so excited yesterday because I was like, man, that was good. The audio was a little jacked up, but we're calling that grunge video casting. It has
a certain aesthetic. It sounds like punk rock interview. It sounds like we're in the basement. It's Joy Division's first performance, and you can hear the lyrics, but you gotta listen.
If you play it in reverse, Brendon shaves his beard.
We came to the Lancey Joe on Venmo show for the chill outs, but we stayed for the mosh pit.
I feel like Laura's got these flowers here. I feel like these need to make an appearance.
All right, toss them in. What are these real? These real ass flowers?
Real Trader Joe's.
I tried to get a comedy show going at the Trader Joe's on Diversity once in Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
That's how the comedy show at Whole Foods happened.
Yeah.
I am so sad I missed that. I really, truly am. You and Caroline Twyman had that show, and I think you only did the one, because then the pandemic happened.
And we had Laura Hug on the show, and she absolutely killed. Absolutely killed.
She's a murderer.
In that environment. I mean, that speaks
volumes.
Yeah. It speaks
that's
volumes.
A woman that knows how to control a room of toddlers. In an emergency, if I suddenly had to leave a room full of children with someone who I barely knew, she would be the first on my mind. I'd be like, Laura, because I'll come back, she'll be fine. She'll have some story, or they'll have some story about it, but everybody would be fine. They wouldn't listen to her. She'd keep them entertained. And then after she left, like one of the older ones would be like, that lady, how come she had a frog in her bag? Like, I don't know.
Well, Caroline is great too. She had a great set.
She
I felt
funny.
like
She a
I
funny
felt like
lady.
my set had a little bit to. I think it was fine, but Laura's parents. That was the only time, the first and only time that Laura's parents have ever seen me. Laura, my girlfriend, Laura,
Yeah.
her parents have seen me perform.
Was that the Whole Foods?
Yeah, was at the Whole Foods. So they were actually in town to see Laura in a play
Yeah.
because Laura's an actor, so they came to see her in a play in which she dies. She
Whoa.
dies in the play, so it's a pretty heavy play. But I had the joke that I wrote on stage there. I was like, well. Laura's parents are in town to see Laura die on stage. Now they came to see me die on stage. And that was the truest joke I had ever written.
It was 100% truth in comedy, buddy. That was part of that. We tried to do stand up every day for 20 minutes a day for 9 months, and the only reason that we stopped was a pandemic.
Worldwide virus outbreak.
That's the only thing that could stop Lancey from dunking on every audience.
Duncan, America runs on my Duncan.
Oh man, that was a fun. So the story behind that, though, just as briefly, is I tried to do. So I called the Trader Joe's guy up, and I was like, "Hey, we got we should do this comedy show." And he called, and he was like, "Nah, dude, nah." And I was like, I just really think you guys have a cool space, and like it would be like a thing, like it would be like a fun thing. And he's like, "Nah, no." And so I immediately hung up the phone after that call and immediately called Whole Foods. And that dude could not have been cooler. He was like, "Yeah, dude, this sounds awesome. Like, we should totally do that."
Until about 2 hours, he was a really cool guy, but about 2 hours before we're supposed to do the show, he's like, "Wait, what are y'all going to be talking about?"
Just abortion and, like how, Trump is right and how liberals are stupid.
I think those were the two things he said. If you could try to avoid, because he was so cool, he didn't want to like step on our art.
Yeah.
And we were like, "No,
really
dude."
Strong use of the word art, by the way.
Right. I'm like, "No, this isn't a real art. We'll pander to whatever. It doesn't matter."
You don't understand, sir. We're the strippers of artists.
Yeah.
We will take your money to do whatever you want. Oh my gosh, man!
And not professional not like Vegas strippers.
No,
either.
we don't. This is not a spectacle.
We're like Topeka, Kansas strippers.
We're the strippers that you would find at the bus stop in Boulder, Colorado. The bus stop. I did stand up at the bus stop once. Did I tell you that? I did done stand up comedy a lot of places. One of them was the bus stop in Boulder, Colorado, which is a strip club. By the way, it's the other strip club at Boulder, Colorado. So if you go to Boulder and you go, "Hey man, kind of want to see some like some hot ladies," you know what I mean? Like, where can I go see a little, people
Is Boulder liberal?
Liberal? Are you kidding me? Was that a joke?
So, because Colorado Springs is conservative.
So conservative. Boulder, Colorado, okay, makes Berkeley, Davis, California look like Colorado Springs. Like, Boulder is so liberal.
Hang on, carry the one. Oh man, that's liberal.
Wait, I'm sorry. What do I do with these parentheses, Brendon?
So you.
I don't remember there being letters in math.
So you go to Boulder and you say, I
want to see some hot ladies dancing for my pleasure. And
if you're in a liberal town, you have to say something like, "I'm looking to objectify something."
Yeah,
where do we go for that?
Objectify something. No, so if you go, "Look, I want to go to a strip club in Boulder," you go to the Nitro Club, and then you go, "Nah, I don't want to go to a nice place." Then they go, "Well, you got to go to the bus stop." So
it's called the bus stop?
It's called the bus stop.
Okay, so it's not a literal bus stop.
No, but there is a bus stop outside of it. And it is directly across the street from the North Boulder homeless shelter. Like, they know their audience.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And so they did a comedy night one night. And, like, which, because it's like, I know, this is so bad. It's like,
I love that story.
If we can't get hot, naked women to come into this establishment, let's try angry, virginal men to get on stage and tell jokes. That was the idea.
What do they call them? What do they call those men? Incels.
Incels. Yeah, incels.
Yeah.
So that's basically what it was. It was a group of incels telling unfunny jokes to other incels. It was a real. It was like
and that's how Pepe the Frog came about.
Somebody said, "What does an online chat? What does a 4chan chat forum look like in person?" That's what it would be.
At the bus stop in Boulder, Colorado. That's one of our sponsors now.
And you know what? I loved it. Let me tell you, it was. Rarely do you get to savor what the bottom of the barrel tastes like that richly, and I did, buddy. I got up on stage and told some jokes. There was a naked woman, getting off stage right there, and she was still collecting dollar bills, and I was up, and I'm like, you know, the thing about airplane food. It's really funny when you think about it because it's like, where are you gonna go? The bathroom's in the back of the plane, lady. Like, come on. It was so bad. Oh my god.
That'd be hard to compete with.
It's hard to compete with. It was really hard to compete with. You know who we're having on the show today? I'm excited about my buddy Travis Spots. He's jumping on the show.
Travis Spots. I thought we were having Travis Scott on the show. Holy crap.
People make that mistake with me all the time, dude. I'm always saying that we're going to have one person. It sounds like another person. It's so funny because I was like, we got a guy coming over here. His name is, and they were like, wait a minute. I thought it would be Barack Obama, not, Lancey Joe. And that was like the real confusing thing.
What was the Barack Obama joke we made the other day that was so good?
Which one? Last night?
Maybe it was yesterday or 2 days ago. Sound off in the comments if you know the Barack Obama joke.
Obama joke we're referencing.
It was like Barack Obamometer. A Barack Obamometer. That's what it was.
The Barack Obamometer, which shows you how many liberal presidents it's been since the last. When did we start this drive? Oh, that was 4 Baracks ago. If I started a metal band right now, I would call it Barackodrama.
Barackodrama. That's good. That's good stuff. If I started an open mic right now, I'd call it open. What is it? Open Mike Jordan.
Open Michael Jordan.
But I wouldn't say Michael. I would say Mike.
Yeah.
Because I call him Mike because we're comrades.
Oh man. Andrew Lawson wants to see the Donald Trump doll again.
The doll.
That can't be the highlight of the show, Andrew. It can't be the highlight of every episode. All right, let's get him on here. Let's get Travis Spots on here, my good buddy from Manistee, Michigan. I referenced Manistee earlier today. That's where Travis is from, actually. It's where I met him. It's funny. How many comedians... what are the chances of having 2 comedians each in a tiny little Michigan town? That can't be good.
There he is. What up?
There he is. Wait a minute.
Hey, Travis.
Hey, there we go, guys. Now we got you, buddy. Look at that.
How's it been?
Look at this headset.
You know what? If you've got a $50 gaming headset, you might as well fucking use it for something.
Yeah.
I feel like you look like a guy who's about to sell me like a timeshare.
Oh, I'm sorry. From the person that makes sales phone calls all day long, I feel like this is something that you've got.
I can't. If I gamed, I would have something like that. But if I like live stream games,
I bought this because I had a really shitty one that stopped working, and my one of my buddies that was in my wedding kept harping on me. He's like, "You got to get something better, man. I can barely hear you on this shit." So I went out and bought this at Target for like $50.
Yeah.
And then I showed it to him, and he's like, "Man, that is some cheap ass shit. Like his set is like $120. It's Bluetooth wireless, and I was like, no, I don't care about you that much to get something this cool. Like, this is what you get.
This is if I have to yell the N-word at Korean teenagers, I need a setup like that.
Oh, don't even get me started about little kids playing, because I'll play like those battle royale games like Fortnite, Apex, and all that other stuff. And like the second I hear like little pubescent tweens getting on the mic, I'm like, nope, I'm out. And then I'm just like, I'll let them die. I'll go off and do my own thing. Yeah.
Look at this brick backdrop you've got. This is so professional looking.
Oh,
is that real?
Yeah, it's real. It's my dining room wall.
Travis is a glorified adult. He owns a home.
Yes.
Owns a home with his husband. A lovely home that I've been to. The loveliest. It's the loveliest home. Yeah, as soon as I did that, I was like, Lancey expects me to do the Trump right now. It's the best.
Well, we had a request
it's the
for
best
it
home.
earlier.
It's a great home. Some people say Brendon's home, decent home. Travis's home, the best.
Not gonna lie, it's pretty sweet. If you're gonna be stuck in a home for 60+ days, at least you've got a brick wall, you know.
An exposed one at that.
Yes. So I know that I'm being defiant because I know you guys talk a lot about Brendon's beard and shit like that, and I have Sans beard.
Oh yeah, great way to. Now I can finally talk to someone on this show.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Like, I realize that we've been in this pandemic for forever, and I had the option to not shave, but my face is so jacked up that anytime I try to grow a beard, it looks like I've just gone through my first phase of like chemotherapy. Like, it doesn't work ever. So I'm jealous of Brendon for his beard, but Brendon, you also look like you're auditioning for the role of Ulysses S. Grant in our next Civil War that's about to happen.
Oh my gosh, dude! This is madness. Admittedly, I look like General Longstreet or something.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for you to be like, all right, we've got a war. Where's my musket and saber? Like,
we will never let them occupy the Arlington Heights.
When you pose, you put your hand in your pocket right here.
I'm right now listening to this is legit. I'm listening to a 40-hour podcast series about Napoleon Bonaparte. But none of those guys had facial hair back then.
You would be the one that would listen to a podcast like that.
Yeah, completely. It's ridiculous.
He's listening to it while he's interviewing you, which is odd.
You think this is not giving me your audio.
Oh, yeah, no. Honestly, Brendon, I'm quite surprised you and Gloria didn't go up to Manistee, our old stomping ground, and just take up shelter in your parents' vacation home during this.
Well, yeah, so you've been to that house.
Yes.
Lance, you and Laura are going to have to eventually come out to that house. I was worried for their health, partially. And it was also, I mean, you've been up there in the wintertime. It's horrible until literally next weekend. It's like the worst place.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because you were talking about like your stripper open mic story before, and it just brought me back to when we did the Boathouse, that like god-awful, real legit open mic of like anything goes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dear God.
That was the first time I had done comedy in like months. And you and I went to this tiny hole-in-the-wall joint in Manistee called the Boathouse, which no longer exists. I went out of business.
Really?
And yeah, a week after we did this. So.
Oh, I don't think I knew that.
It was we got on stage and told jokes, and they were forced to close by the state.
Yeah, it was awful. Like they're just like, oh, this comedy is the worst. We're gonna have to put a bullet in this one and get it over with.
Well, it was, and all of your coworkers were there, and they kept
not all, just some.
Yeah, and they kept yelling, shit at you. And I went over and I'm like, guys, you got to stop doing that. And they're like, no, we're supporting him. I'm like, by yelling penis really loud during his set is supporting him. Yeah, man, totally, dude. We got it. Yeah, we love Travis.
They do, and don't get it wrong. Like, they did love me, but they just didn't quite get the what heckling was back then.
Yeah,
or probably even true. Now, if I'm being real honest.
My mother, by the way, who's in Manistee, has tuned in and is saying hello and haha.
Hello. And I
Jake
love
from
the house.
State Farm has one, I think. What does Jake from State Farm have, Mom? You go ahead and post that. Have you been back up? When was the last time you were over there?
Jesus. I haven't been to the Ludington, Manistee area since like February. I went up to Traverse City to see our mutual friend Kendra Carr. I guess it's Carr now. She changed her last name back after her divorce. But yeah, so she was in a play up at the Civic Theater in Traverse City. So I went up to go watch her perform. It was a fantastic play, and I'm sad that nothing is happening now because she was auditioning for stuff, and then pretty much everything got taken away when the old Rona hit the fan.
Rona hit. She's a talented lady.
She's very talented. She's
funny lady.
She's the voice of NPR's All Things Considered now on Interlochen Public Radio.
That's a big deal, man.
Yeah,
my parents listen to that.
Yeah, your parents have probably heard her before.
I think I messaged her recently when I saw her get that. We're talking about, I should say to Lancey, we're talking about a mutual friend who I was in a play with, actually. And when I found out she was engaged at the time, I was so disappointed.
You know what? If she had known then what she knew now, like, there may have been other cards on the table because...
Yeah, she got that marriage did not last. I met that guy and I remember thinking, I wouldn't marry him.
I mean, he had some okay moments and great parties. Like, he was the party house that we went to in high school.
Nice.
So I remember one party, like, the cops got called, and like I remember doing the whole like, all right, turn all the lights off, be cool, like, shh type things. Like, don't get caught.
All of that.
Now. Yeah.
Well, that's huge. That's a huge on your resume when you're in high school age.
For sure.
To throw those parties. That's the key to the social hierarchy. Then now people want me to have jobs and earn money and have security. This is ridiculous.
Well,
come on.
And in addition to that, now given the current state that we're in, it actually comes full circle because now if you were the person throwing the parties, you kind of got that rep again because you're doing it low key under the radar.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Dude, Chicago has been, the mayor, Lori Lightfoot, holy moly, is she mad at people having parties.
Did you know she busted a party?
Personally?
She busted it personally?
Yes.
What?
Yeah, so she was driving around somewhere, I think in Bronzeville or something like that, and in her like motorcade or whatever it is, and there was a bunch of like 17, 18-year-old kids in a garage drinking, and she like was apparently, according to the story, she was going past it, had her motorcade stop, back up, and then she rolled down the window and she's like, "Hey, social distancing." And people are like, "Is that the fucking mayor?"
That's hilarious.
I'm frightened of her, man. Like she does not fuck around. Like she has these meetings with, I mean, you see like when her and Pritzker get on like a Facebook Live and they're like answering questions and talking about stuff. I'm like,
she looks so mad.
Dude, if she was your substitute teacher in middle school, that's the only class that would never act up. Like they'd be like, "What happened? The grades in this class jumped the 2 days that this substitute was here." You'd be like, "Yeah, because everyone was terrified of Lori."
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't want honestly, if she was my boss, I would tiptoe around her quite a bit.
I say, like, for the first time in a long time, it feels like Chicago's had like a mayor that people respect.
Yeah,
people did not like Rahm. They were not fans of his.
Well, Rahm threw good parties, though. That's what he.
Now we just need parties thrown again. That's really. The only thing I look forward to nowadays is RuPaul's Drag Race. There's like no continuity of days anymore. Really, it's like, what day is it? Who cares? Unless if it's Friday when RuPaul's Drag Race is on, and then it becomes a 4-hour affair.
It's so funny to invite you to this because you were like, "What time is this?" And I'm like, "It'll be like 5:45, 5:50." And you're like, "As long as it's over in time for me to check out RuPaul's Drag Race."
Like legit. Like that's the only thing I'm looking forward to this all week, but otherwise I'm just like RuPaul's Drag Race. Like I need to get me some sassy drag queens in my life because that's really that's my lifeblood right now. And now they've done things where they've added more Drag Race shows. It's not just like the regular show anymore with all of like the bitchy queens. Now they have RuPaul's Secret Celebrity Drag Race that follows right after it.
What? Wait a minute. What?
Yes. So it's like a mini series. They're piloting it right now, and it's fucking TV gold. Like they take 3 celebrities, and they're like B-list celebrities, right?
Yeah.
And they get coached by one of the Drag Race alumni to do like one full show. They do a mini challenge, they do a main challenge, and then they do a runway and a lip sync. And then it's all for charity. Like the winner gets like $30,000 for charity. Last week, do you guys know who Matt Eisman is?
No, who's this?
He's the he's the host of American Ninja Warrior. He's been on the Anthony Cumia show a ton. So Dave, he does stand. He's been doing stand up for 20 years. And so Matt Eisman was on the show last week, and I screamed at my TV because they like reveal who the celebrities are. You don't like know ahead of time. And so I see that. I text Dave immediately. I was like, "Did you know Matt Eisman's on this thing?" And he's like, "No, but I'm going to DVR it." It was he was a hot woman. Let me tell you what. He was his girlfriend comes backstage during the show and motorboats him like his fake tits.
This is like, here's the weird thing about RuPaul's Drag Race is it's truly like reaching across all kinds of boundaries, because I know dudes who enjoy that show. And they're like the straightest, like they're like the kind of dudes who would be like, yeah, Roll Tide, like Alabama football, like those types of dudes. Fuck yeah, smash LSU. And then like if you talk to them about this show, if it ever comes up, because it's so popular, they're like, oh man, that show was so fun. Oh my god, I would be the hottest drag queen on that show. And you're like, okay.
That's like straight guy level of confidence. Like you'd be the hot drag queen for like never having done it before. Like
never worn heels once.
I've done drag one time, and that was only amongst my friends in this house. We were drunk, and we all bought like shitty wigs and all that stuff. And then we're like, let's just try it out. We got all made up. Like nothing's more weird than going into Ulta and asking the makeup lady to help you find the right foundation for your face. And then she's like, what's it for? And we're like, oh, we're just going to get drunk and do drag.
I mean, in Chicago, that's not that strange. I feel like.
I mean, bless this old lady's heart. She probably was in her mid-60s, and she's like a real trooper about it. She was like, okay, let's get you over here. And she like brought out all these different foundations and like put it on her face, and it's like, nope, yes. Like we went through the whole gamut.
I mean, I don't know. I've been wearing kilts since I was younger, so I feel like that's what I've got. That's like what drag training wheels or something like that.
Yeah, kind of, I guess. But you weren't wearing heels, so
good point. This is true.
Yeah.
And well, that's the aggravating thing. It sounds like drag's a little bit like stand-up, where people are like, oh, I can do that. I would be good at that. And then it's a lot harder than what it seems.
You want to know what's even worse than that? Following a drag queen doing stand-up at a showcase.
Yes.
When did that happen?
So it was, I was still in Grand Rapids at the time. I was living in Michigan. And it was right before I was about to move to Chicago, like maybe 2 or 3 months before, and I followed this queen named Ginger Ambrosia. And at this showcase, you're supposed to do 5 minutes, maybe 7 if you're on a roll and the showrunner's liking what you're doing. If you're not eating it, he'll give you an extra 2 minutes. And then he let Ginger Ambrosia riff. That's all she did. She had no material. She just riffed for fucking 20 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
And then I was the one that followed right after her, and it was me and 2 other buddies that were like Grand Rapids like staples. Like we, people knew who we were and knew that we were good, and all 3 of us just ate dick, or in my case, because I'm gay, I guess I ate vagina. Like we just fucking ate it. It was the worst.
I think that is so funny. Oh man, it was the worst. I ate pussy. It was terrible.
That's great.
So yeah, don't ever follow a drag queen on any show.
No, that sounds like a real challenge.
It won't end well for you.
Well, they're just so good at getting everybody's attention and getting them hyped up. And
Well, yeah, because the straight guys are like, ooh, I want to fuck that.
yeah, you do
They're like-
now.
Yeah, it's like, and then they realize that, no, honey, I'm in drag, and they're like, what? Like, they don't like, some straight dudes are so dense they don't realize that drag queens look like super legit.
Have you,
And-
Lance? You ever been to a drag show?
Yeah.
Where was the last one you went to?
One followed I did a stand-up thing in Memphis once, and then right afterwards they had a drag show, and it was part of that because a lot of my friends from like really conservative Mississippi were there to see me perform.
Yeah.
And then right after it, like they had no clue that a drag show was starting, and then
That's the best.
yeah, it was a total bombardment, but everybody had fun. I mean, I think it was an eye-opening experience. I think the ones who couldn't tolerate that type of thing were out immediately, but everybody who stayed had fun, and it was a really good night.
The last time.
Plus, I had a good set. So if
That
I had a
helps.
good set, it doesn't matter what happens afterwards. I'm like, oh yeah, some people started shooting guns. I don't know, whatever. It was fine.
That's so true. Also, it's like if you crush and you get off stage, it doesn't matter what happens. Like,
Right.
what happened?
Like-
Somebody punched me in the ribs and I broke one, but did you see me crush before that happened? Like,
I can't believe I got that one joke to work. It was such a fun night.
oh my God. What's the joke? Let me ask. I know it's been a while since all of us have done stand up, but what's the joke that you have that is the one where you're never sure if it's really going to get off or not on stage? Like if the crowd is with you, then you're like, maybe I'll try this. And then like, you're not sure just out of curiosity, what is that joke for you guys?
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a good
So
question, right?
that's a tough one because like I have a bit that can be divisive if you don't pay attention to it, which is one where it's like, if it's going well, I think it will work. Basically, it goes, I came out of the closet, however many years ago it was whenever I'm telling it. And so I'm like, I think coming out of the closet is like one of the hardest things you can ever do. And I think it's almost as difficult as childbirth. And it's weird to say that, but let me explain. It's like when you come out of the closet, you have like the highest chance of everyone that you've ever known completely hating you. And I don't think that's the same case with childbirth, unless, of course, the kid comes out black. And
Yeah. I remember you did this. I remember you did this one on stage, and the crowd, it was great. We did like 2 or 3 shows, and all the crowds
this was
loved
at
it.
Tommy's, wasn't it?
Yeah, all the crowds
Yeah.
loved it except one crowd. Really did not. You could feel the air like go out of the room,
Yeah.
and you were
so, I got to follow it up, otherwise it's going to seem like I'm a real piece of shit.
Right.
So
Well,
I
in
say
the
that
one
line,
crowd.
I say that line, you get the shock out of it, and then I'm like, because let's be real here, white people are the only people that get super bent out of shape when a kid comes into their family and it's not the expected ethnicity. I don't understand that. I don't agree with that. Why wouldn't you want a future number 1 draft pick on your team? And then I talk about some more sports shit afterwards, and then, but you have to get them over that hump of where it's like, because white people get super weird about that first line, and then you have to realize that, like, oh, I'm making fun of you. Like,
Right.
but if I'm doing a good set, like I feel like I can throw that one in there. But like, if I'm not killing it, then that joke doesn't even see the light of day.
yeah.
Well, the crowd that really tightened up on you about that joke, what were they all white people?
Oh yeah, that whole room
yeah.
is like 99.5% white people. I think I had to like loosen him up a bit after I did that and was like, I panned the room. Like, I know you guys are all white. Don't worry. I'm not going to tell. Like,
It was all pregnant white women.
yeah.
And they were like,
Ironically, their names are all Karen.
They were all like, that's a little close to home, Travis.
Yes. In about 2 months here, I'm going to be dropping the bomb on my
So
significant
I
other.
know if it's a boy or a girl, but I don't know if it's his.
Yes, big Tommies. Like I did that joke again at the beginning of this year. I was with Landau. Brendon and I have opened for Dave Landau. Lance, I don't know if you've met him or know who he is.
Yeah, we had him on the show. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you have Landau on here?
Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, I was opening for Landau at this club, and the host. It makes such a difference when you have a good host, because the first time I played there, Brendon was the host, and I was featuring, and it was a great weekend. This time, it was some dude I've never met before, and he was supposed to do 15 minutes, and both nights did 23.
Oh, man.
That's different.
And ate it the entire time, mind you.
Oh, my gosh.
Did set me up for failure to begin with, and then I tried doing that joke because I was on a roll, and then all the air got sucked out of the room real bad because, like, they were either with me or it was hot and cold.
Yeah.
And Landau was pissed. Not at me, but
yeah,
it was not good.
at the hosting situation.
Yes.
Yeah.
We know
never-
bad host can
Oh.
ruin a show real quick.
I've never seen Dave. I've never seen Dave once have to talk to a manager about anybody on the lineup ever.
Yeah.
That's like, because that's like how good of a dude Dave is. Like he
He's
was
a
like,
wonderful- he really is a wonderful dude.
yeah,
And it's funny, man, because a bad host can ruin a show so fast, and like you just gotta plow. Like if you're hosting the show, you can't let anything. You're like because you have to ignite the room, so you just gotta keep going. Like if you get up and you're a feature, or you're headlining, or you're doing anything but hosting, you can kind of like the crowd. Maybe you tell a joke, it doesn't go so well. You can chastise the crowd. You can like whatever. You can pull the energy down, you can bring it back up. But if you're a host, you have to be at a 10 the whole time. Like, every time you get up. And if that doesn't happen at a show, it's like the crowd never feels confident enough in the whole performance to, like, get on board with it.
right. Yeah. Speaking of like schedules, did your guys' schedules get all fucked up because of all of this? Like for future, like everything. Like
I was supposed to be in North Carolina last week. Supposed to be in New York.
oh yeah.
I mean, Lance had been doing 20 minutes a night for a while, right?
Yeah. Although maybe it's kind of, I mean, obviously the pandemic's not a good thing, but as far as me not running myself into the ground because of that, because I was trying to do 9 straight months of 20 minutes a night, which
that is rough.
I mean, I wasn't able to get like a straight run at it, but I was doing like 5, sometimes 6 nights a week doing 20. And but I have that type of mentality where I'll drive myself into the ground doing that type of thing. So in that aspect, it's a good thing that it kind of stepped in. It's like, all right, take a step back for a second.
Everybody gets to hit the pause button.
Yeah, I feel like this is a good refresher for people that may have been, doing the road a lot. But at the same time, like, I missed the road a ton. I've had my schedule all fucked up. Like, I don't anticipate much going well. But I do get the notch in my cap that I had a weekend bumped because of Mike Birbiglia this year.
Nice.
Yeah, so Landau and I were supposed to play in Buffalo, New York in July, and the week that COVID hit and like everybody, like the shit hit the fan, Birbiglia was supposed to play at Helium in Buffalo, and I found out that he decided to reschedule his weekend because of like everything COVID related. He's an overly cautious person, so I like saw on Twitter that Birbiglia was like, "Hey people, I decided to reschedule my weekend. I'll get you the date when it comes." And then maybe an hour later on Helium's Twitter, they're like, we rescheduled Mike Birbiglia for July 7th or July 9th through the 11th. And I was like, fuck off. Like, they didn't even tell Dave and I that they scheduled him over our weekend. I found out on Twitter.
Wow.
Yikes.
So
Show
Mike
business.
Birbiglia doesn't know it, but he has a big IOU coming my way. Like, I'll figure out how to tell him. Be like, yo, you remember this one thing when you stole my weekend that you didn't even know you stole from me? Like, pay up.
I'm looking forward to hearing that story when it happens.
It never will. This is just all playing in my head right now.
What drink are you drinking, by the way?
Oh, yeah. I have a bunch of Woodford Reserve bourbon in my glass on the rocks.
Whoa, dude. That's a night. That's high speed.
Yeah, you know what? It's drag race night. Like, I gotta start rolling now.
Pre-gaming.
I love
Pretty
that because
much.
Woodford Reserve could cut either direction for drag race night. You could be like, it's either we're watching drag queens or we're watching cars drag race. Like, either group of people drinks the same goddamn drink.
Yeah, I decided to break out the bourbon because I have a bourbon collection. I've not paid for a single bottle of any of my bourbon.
What?
Seriously, everyone at my law firm knows I like bourbon, so for Christmas and shit, they just give me bottles of bourbon.
What? Well, what are your star players on that bourbon collection?
So we've got. Hang on a second. We'll just pick up and we'll figure this out. We'll do the bar cabinet tour.
Yo, welcome to Cribs.
I just got I got Johnny Drum a couple of years ago, Kentucky bourbon,
Ooh.
private stock. I drank most of that. I got Woodinville, which is from Washington State. It's hardly Kentucky bourbon, but it's got like a hint of cherry to it. Good stuff. We have Rough Rider.
Whoa.
Straight
by DMX.
Bourbon.
The Woodinville. We have something I got for Christmas for my brother. I don't know. I put it in my decanter.
That's
cheap.
Looks
It's
nice
cheap
actually. That decanter.
It looks nice.
That's
The decanter
fashionable.
looks nice. The whiskey, the bourbon's not that great, but it's good if you're already wasted. And then one of my associate attorneys, because we're all working from home and on the front lines, he sent me a bottle of small batch Knob Creek.
That's
Yeah.
not bad.
So I've been accumulating. I've paid for none of these bottles.
Well, the price,
Nice.
you can't beat the price.
No, you can't beat the price. And then of course, like we've got the traditional like vodka because we're a gay couple, and I feel like we can't.
You don't want to get rezoned.
Yeah.
I just love. I heard this recently. All vodka has to be created in exactly the same fashion. So like, somebody did taste tests, I guess, amongst all the like major brands of vodka, and nobody could tell the difference. There's like Arrow vodka is the same taste as Grey Goose.
That can't be right, because I have a bottle of Grey Goose and I have a bottle of Tito's, and I can tell you one of them is much more smooth than the other.
Right? Like that's so funny because I feel the same way. Like if you drink Stoli and then you drink Kettle One, they taste very different.
Yeah.
I was a Kettle One drinker for a while.
Kettle One's not bad.
That was fake news, what you read. You read some fake news.
Those goddamn Democrats.
It's making you believe a lot more than you should be, Brendon.
They're messing with my vodka consumption. Oh my gosh, man. Travis, what do you got coming up lately, man? We're running up on time a little bit here. What do you got coming up?
I mean, I've got a lot of PlayStation going on right now.
Where can people follow? Do you stream on Twitch or anything?
No, I don't fuck around. Like, I'm not a 10-year-old child. Like, I kind of loathe the whole idea of like people watching other people play video games. Like, here's the thing. Like, when this COVID stuff hit, like, I was prepared. I have been training for this since Final Fantasy III. Like, I've been playing video games by myself forever. So when everyone was like, "Oh, we have to stay home," I was like, "No, I gotta play video games now." But
Yes.
But I don't find pleasure in watching 10-year-olds stream them getting shot in the face. Like,
Right.
doesn't really do it for me. I mean, just follow me on like Instagram and Facebook and Twitter.
What are your
I'm not.
all right? So what are your Instagram, Facebooks, and Twitters, maybe?
I gotta pull this out. Well, at Twitter, I'm just at Travis Spots, SPOTTS, because my family's retarded and put a second T in there for some reason.
Spots.
Yeah, right. Instagram, I am at tspots429. Because apparently,
429, like TK429.
yeah, apparently there's another Travis Spots out there somewhere. I've never met another Travis Spots or a Travis that's as good as looking as me. So take it for what it's.
Travis is not Travis has come in a very particular variety, I feel like.
They do. They come in NASCAR or me.
That's what I was expecting when I heard Travis was on the show. I was like, oh yes, NASCAR.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. We're going to trade some paint.
If you ain't rubbing, you ain't racing.
If you ain't rubbing, you ain't racing.
Oh, dear God. That's the straightest thing I've heard in quite a while.
Oh, my God, man. Well, dude, thanks for dropping by the show, man.
Dude, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
On.
Yeah, dude, I haven't seen your face in forever. And it's,
Neither have I.
I know. It's been, I don't think I've seen you since New Year's.
Yeah, that's about when, and I still had, this beard started around then. So
it did.
I haven't shaved since November.
It's nice to see your work product just, really develop.
My chin is somewhere in here.
If I find out that you have signed up to be in our next Civil War, I called it now.
All right. I'm going to be a general with a beard like this.
I feel like you're just like, I'm here to enlist, and then you'd be like, I'm enlisting for the role of general, and they're like, but you don't. You're like, but you see this beard, right? Yeah.
Like, you're going to take orders from a clean face?
I'm going to have to throw this monologue away if I don't get this job.
We must take them on the high ground. The flanks, they expect an attack there. It is the center. I don't know why. I'm from Detroit. I don't know why the fuck I have that accent.
I don't know either.
Like an old Louisiana. Oh, my God. Travis, it's been great having you, dude.
Thanks, guys.
Great to meet you.
Great to meet you, too, man. Take it easy.
See ya.
Goodbye. Later. Take care. Travis Spots. Good dude. That headset is intense, man.
I love it.
He feels like a professional headset guy.
He'll let you know, though, if there's a sniper on the roof or something. He's going to let you know before you walk through there.
Wait, dude. Wait a minute. Get on the... All right, hold on. Let me exchange primary weapons with you.
Dane Cook used to have that joke. He's like, oh, where's the Gatling gun?
Where's the Gatling gun? Can you get the minigun in this game?
Because he's talking about getting in an argument with his girlfriend, and then he goes back and immediately starts playing games again. He's like, whatever. All right, where's the Gatling gun?
I'm going to take these guys out. Dude, video games is a great way to get if you have a bad day at work, you just go into a video game, kill 100 zombies, you feel great.
I've heard people say they need to have a stand-up game, and they're like, no, there's no way to do it because whatever. And I'm like, no, it just make the game impossible. And then
you remember that one level where you get kicked in the balls 100 times by strangers? It's exactly like stand-up.
And then at the end, it's like you had the worst set of your life, but somehow you got booked at some other place, so you can go there and get kicked in the balls now.
That's what stand-up makes no sense because you'll have a bunch of shows. How many times has this happened to you where you'll be like, I fucking hate this. You'll have a bad set. You'll be like, I fucking hate this game. I give up. I don't give a shit. I've been doing this for years. Whatever. Nobody likes my jokes. And then you get up at the next show and just crush. And then somebody will be like, wow, that was really good, man. We should put you on this show. And then you go do that show and you do decently. And then somebody else is like, we'll put you on this show. And then you fail. And it's like, the jokes were the same. Yep.
Yep. It's kind of like Laura and I do this with our hair. We'll try to grow our hair out. You might do this with your beard, where as soon as you get in your head, you're like, all right, that's it. Tomorrow, I'm cutting it. I'm cutting it tomorrow. That next day, it'll start acting great. Your hair will be like,
people will tell you, they're like, oh my God, man, you look amazing.
Yeah.
And you're like,
and then you're like, all right, I'll keep it for another day. Then as soon as you're sold back on it, it'll start acting crappy again.
Right? It's like the universe is just messing with you.
Yeah. I think it's that mindset of nah, I'm done with this. And then your mind opens up in a way that sees it from a different point of view.
That's too funny, man. Lancey Joe, who you got going on your show tonight?
I'm not sure. This is how lenient I'm running the show. Is I'll figure
figure it out.
and
Whatever.
if no one comes on, I'll just riff, or Laura will come on. Laura, my girlfriend, will come on, and
I think it's working, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun to do. I mean, it's like you said, it's like having people in my living room, you know. So especially in this time where, but as soon as we're released from our, cages,
as soon as these Democrats lose their races.
Yeah, I picked the wrong city to be in a pandemic for.
What happened? I just suddenly got, oh, goodness gracious. That was weird. Sorry, I just weirdly lost you on this broadcast. Now you're back.
I thought it just started playing Pornhub or something. You're like, whoa!
Whoa! Hey! Wow! That's a huge black penis. Wow!
Yeah, and every now and then I have authors stop by. Like last night, I had an author on there.
Do you really? Who was by? Who stopped by? Me.
Brendon
God damn it!
He's got a book on Amazon. Y'all need to check out.
You got
called,
me, buddy.
Stoic Sales.
That's Lancey. You're a saint among men. All right, buddy. We're gonna roll out. Have a good weekend. I'll talk to you this weekend, and if not, I'll see you on Tuesday for sure, because we're going to be back here. We're going to be back here at 6:30 Eastern, 5:30 Central, 3:30 Pacific, and 11:30 GMT on Tuesday. And for the rest of the week, take it easy, everybody. Everybody say Louisiana. Louisiana.